That which pervades the entire body you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. The real nature of the soul is spread all over the body. Anyone can understand what is spread all over the body. It is consciousness. Everyone is conscious of the pains and pleasures of the body in part or as a whole. This spreading of consciousness is limited within one's own body. The pains and pleasures of one body are unknown to another. Therefore, each and everybody is the embodiment of an individual soul, and the symptom of the soul's presence is perceived as individual consciousness. As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body, from boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into another body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. This atomic soul is floating in the 5 kinds of air, is situated within the heart, and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodied living entities. When the soul is purified from the contamination of the 5 kinds of material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog-eater, outcast. A Krishna-conscious person does not make any distinction between species or castes. The Brahmana and the outcast may be different from the social point of view, or a dog, a cow, and an elephant may be different from the point of view of species. But these differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of a learned transcendentalist. in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the supersoul. He is directing the wanderings of all living entities, who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. After changing bodies, the living entity forgets his past deeds, but the supersoul, as the knower of the past, present and future, remains the witness of all his activities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his feature of eternal time, is present in the material world and is neutral towards everyone. As the original cause of all causes, he is not responsible for anyone's material sufferings or enjoyment. No one is his ally, and no one is his enemy. The less intelligent accuse the Supreme Lord of being partial and claim that this is why one enjoys in this material world and another suffers. Within the jurisdiction of the time element, everyone enjoys or suffers the results of his own karma, or fruitive activities. As when the wind blows, small particles of dust fly in the air, so according to one's particular karma, one suffers or enjoys material life. Material nature consists of three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the eternal living entity comes in contact with nature, he becomes conditioned by these modes. The mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode become conditioned by a sense of happiness and knowledge. The mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings, and because of this, the embodied living entity is bound to material, fruitive actions. Know that the mode of darkness, born of ignorance, is the delusion of all embodied living entities. The results of this mode are madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. In the mode of goodness, persons worship demigods and will take birth on the planets of demigods within this universe, where life lasts so long that it appears permanent to people on Earth. The opulence and the enjoyment on those planets are far, far greater than the pleasure on our planet. Similarly, one can attain Pitri Loka, the planets of the forefathers, by performing a specific sacrifice. One can also go to many ghostly planets by performing black magic. Some think that it is spiritualism, but such activities are completely in the mode of ignorance. When one is situated spiritually, he is above the material modes, even though he lives in this material world. As a lamp in a windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist whose mind is controlled remains always steady in his meditation on the transcendent self. A yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the one desiring to enjoy the results of his work. Therefore, one should strive for yoga, which links the consciousness with the supreme, absolute truth. And of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga, and is the highest of all. Such a yogi is my very dear devotee. Always chanting my glories, endeavouring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
Krishna Kirtana Ganana Tanapano Premamritam Manidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priyau Priyakarau.
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. My devotee steadily progresses towards his destined abode. On his journey, he is not distracted to the varieties of enjoyment on the different planets within this universe. The supreme abode is directly under the protection of my spiritual energy of unadulterated bliss. That is the ultimate perfectional goal of the living entity. After giving up the present material body, he goes to that transcendental abode and never comes back.